Hi friends, welcome to my channel, Lolly's Creations. Please enjoy the video and don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. This is my inspiration piece. I am creating this piece as a request from one of my aunts that she will be giving this to one of her cousins for their anniversary. This really is just a mat. I wanted to try a hack that I heard from Sammy at Unicorn Does Designs. I want to try to use this instead of the paper so I can clean up and reuse instead of tossing the brown paper. Once I removed the wrapper of the piece, I wanted to make sure that I sanded every rough edge and sand off as much as I could of the words, because I will be painting this piece to match the color of the anniversary. They will be 25 years married, so that is silver. So I'll be coloring, or actually painting, the heart, the larger piece of heart in silver. But first I have to make sure that everything is done smoothly and there's no rough edges, and I can have it as finished and smooth as possible. Just making sure to remove all the pieces of dust and clean up my surface. Make sure that everything is tidy, and now we're gonna go ahead and try to paint. This is the color that I used. It's by Folk Art. I had a little bit of a problem here, guys. Please don't laugh at me. I laughed for so long because I could have sworn that this paint had a little cover in the top, like, you know, little pieces of cardboard that go in the inside of the cover to seal the paint in. I could have sworn it had one and it got stuck on the cover itself. So here I am trying to get rid of that piece. I tried everything. I'm like, why is this not coming out of here? I need to be able to use the squeeze bar. So let me just push the brush with the brush. Hopefully the piece will fall off. Well, guys, I felt so stupid because it was actually just paint. There wasn't anything there. It came open. There was nothing for me to take off. So once I figured it out, I screwed it up and went ahead with painting. It was kind of difficult to cover up the letters. It just feels like once I started painting and they actually appear a little bit more, but I just kept going at it. I kept doing one coat using my heat gun to dry it up, and then apply another coat and just keep doing that. Heat gun, another coat. You know, guys, with the one thing that I have to say with that plastic cotton board thing there from DollarTree, it's not very good to use some heat on it. As I was trying to paint this, I noticed that it was warping. So I went back to my regular paper because I was using the heat gun in between and I wanted to be safe. So while that was drying, I went ahead and tried to remove the little piece that came in the middle there, the letter heart within the heart. I scraped it as best as I could, try to remove all the little residue of the glue that was on there before, and just went ahead and sanded it one more time until I was satisfied, and to make sure that I can have that space ready for the next step on painting. Because even though this is white already, I wanted it to be a more cohesive white, and I also wanted it to have like the same finish as the other piece had. You can see the little grooves of the wood. So I was painting this on straight up and down strokes, trying to leave lines behind to resemble a little bit of wood grain. For some reason, my paintbrush was painting with a tint of red, so I'm not sure if I didn't wash my brush properly the last time I used it. So I had to go ahead and wash it, come back, and do another coat with the white. And I also used a little bit of water to spritz on the surface in order to have the paint as smooth as I could and to preserve the little streaks that I had created so it resembled the grain of the wood. This paint that I'm using, I made myself using white acrylic and some I never remember the name of it, plaster of Paris, to create my own little chalk paint. So it's a little bit thick, so sometimes it gets pretty built up, so I was making sure to sanding in between of each coat to avoid oversaturating the piece of wood. I probably gave this piece about 3 to 4 coats of paint before I was satisfied. I wanted it to be smooth, but I also wanted to have that grain, and I kept jugging at it until I found the desired look. While the other piece was drying, I went ahead and added some white on the edges of the silver piece. I wanted to have that contrast and to have it look as one cohesive piece together. So I figure having the white on the edges will tie it together with the heart that will go within it. I wanted this piece to be complete, so I went ahead and painted the back of it as well, just in case, they would like to put it on a table, so it doesn't matter what angle they put it on, it will be finished and pretty. I noticed that this piece was kind of hard to stand up on its own, so I wanted to create a better surface for it to stand and so it wouldn't tip over. So I used one of these plaques from the DollarTree. I painted it black, and I thought that would be a nice contrasting color for the piece. I figured the silver, white, and black look very nice and elegant, but I wasn't that happy with it. So you will see in a little while that I go ahead and change it. I had a little accident there. I was not happy about that. I fell right on top of the white, and I had to end up fixing that at the end as well. But it wasn't that much. If you can see, it was just a couple of streaks here and there. So I fixed that later. Here's when I'm trying to place the piece on top, and I kept looking at it, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not liking it too much. I'm thinking I wanted something softer. So I'm like, no, you know what, it flows better with the white. So I went ahead and took my white and took another take at it, and I had to give it about 3 coats in order to finish up covering the black. This paint actually covers pretty well, and yeah, I did 2 coats, dried in between. There I made sure to take the plastic off because it was warping with the heat gun, and sanded it in between and called it a day. Using my Cricut, I went ahead and did the text from the inspiration piece that said, a successful marriage requires falling in love with as many times with the same person. So I went ahead and cut that, and I had a little bit of a hard time trying to figure out how to fit them. I tried to put the text all in one so it will be one piece, but it didn't quite work out. So I went ahead and cut it in smaller pieces so I could rearrange it in the best way possible for me. And I also took one of those little glue dots that you use for the balloons and used them in the back of the pieces so I can make sure that they stay put and they were straight, in order for me to go ahead and put these pieces onto my transfer tape and then be able to attach them or transfer them onto the heart there. So you'll see me there trying to make sure they're all straight and that none of my little letters were missing. And guys, if you guys own a Cricut and have done any of this work of weeding, you know very well that our worst fear is to lose one of the little points on your eyes. That happened to me twice here. So you will see me there trying to rescue my eyes and my little dots from little pieces. So here I am transferring everything over to my transfer tape. I thought maybe let me just bring it over with the paper. Then I said no, the best thing to do will be to go ahead and make sure that just the letters transfer to the transfer paper, and then I worry about taking off the pieces while they were empty off the heart so I can put the words in. So here I am doing that, taking my time, making sure that all the letters are on the transfer tape, and trying to make sure that everything stays in its place. I removed all the pieces, and now it's time to bring it over and make sure that that transfer tape and the letters are in the right direction and that nothing is crooked. If you see there, I kept trying and repositioning everything. I eyeballed it. I didn't use any ruler or anything. I think that was sufficient. Once I was happy, I burnished everything using my little tool from the Dollar Tree that works just as good as a Cricut tool, and carefully just went ahead and removed the tape to expose my finish. I was pretty satisfied with this. Pretty cute. And now we are going to worry about the next piece. Before I went any further, I wanted to make sure that the heart fit within the other silver heart, and just as I suspected, it didn't. So I noticed I had a lot of buildup of paint on the edges there, so I went ahead and sanded those edges that were protruding more than the regular piece of wood was. The pieces that were very built up, I used my scraper and scraped them off. Make sure that everything was even, so that piece will go right within the other heart like intended before. Here I'm measuring to make sure that I have my next set of letters on the proper size, and I went ahead and cut happy 25th anniversary and Mr. and Mrs. Lynch. That is the last name of my cousins, my aunt's cousins. And here I'm making sure that everything was correctly. Unfortunately, I had a hard time with the and. The and kept trying to turn into an 8. But I went ahead and using my little pick from Dollar Tree there, I went ahead and straightened it. And we burnished everything, and here we go. I was happy, but I lost an eye again. I'm here searching and searching and searching for that little tiny little dot that goes on top of my eye. And then finally I found it later on and replaced it on there. But I don't think anybody would have noticed, but either way, I noticed, so it was driving me crazy. I had to do it. So now it's time to prep this piece for the stand, making sure everything is nice and smooth. We are going to be using some glue, some hot wood glue, to attach these two pieces together. Once I had the heart, there you go, I attached it. Guys, I'm sorry I lost the footage of what I was actually gluing it on, but all I did was did a bit of glue in the bottom of the two hearts and lined it up with the middle of the black, and voila. Now here it's time to do some more touch-ups. Made sure that I fixed any bleed that I had of the silver onto the white and any other little areas in the back that were not done correctly or any little blemishes. I went over with a small brush, make sure that everything was as beautiful as it could. This piece means a lot to me. The person that's gonna be receiving it he's like an uncle to me, so I am trying my best to make this with as much love as possible. Once everything was dried, I took it outside and did some clear coat protectant from Rust-Oleum. Went ahead and sprayed it on, let it dry, and let it dry and did another coat again, 2 even coats to make sure that this was something that will last another 25 years or more. And here we are, guys. This is the finished piece. I am so proud of it. I did forget to record the 2 little flowers, but all I did was took 2 little forms from the Dollar Tree, the 2 little flower foams, and added 2 of them in the bottom there where the hearts meet, and voila. Thank you so much for your time, guys. Thank you for spending time with me. We'll see you in the next video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Have a great day and be blessed.